Melody Shari has finally spoken out after the shocking news surrounding Martell's late-night car accident. While fans were holding their breath wondering how she would respond, or if she would respond at all, Melody chose to break her silence in a way that was calm, powerful, and deeply thoughtful. But as always with Melody, this wasn't just about one moment or one response. What she said, and more importantly, how she said it, is part of something much bigger. Melody is not just reacting to drama anymore, she's creating a whole new lane for herself, and she's doing it on her terms. Let's talk about everything she's doing right now and why this moment matters so much, not only for her but for the entire influencer world. Recently, Melody dropped something online that everyone is calling the 4-piece life nugget message. At first glance, it may have seemed like simple life advice, but if you've been following her story, you know there's much more beneath the surface. These 4 nuggets: protect your peace, know your worth, move in silence, and faith over fear, weren't just random motivational phrases. Each one was carefully shared and connected to deeper parts of her life. And many fans believe these were direct reflections of her experiences, not just with Martell, but with former friends, business partners, and even her time in the spotlight. Let's break down these 4 pieces because they're not just inspirational, they're part of a larger strategy. Protect your peace hit especially hard. Melody talked about cutting off not only toxic romantic relationships but also draining professional ties and even some fan interactions that crossed the line. She made it clear that peace of mind isn't something she's willing to trade for money, fame, or anything else. That's a bold move, especially in a world where people often feel pressured to keep everyone around for appearances. Melody is showing that peace is more valuable than performance. Then came Know Your Worth. This nugget was a direct challenge to how influencers are often treated, especially Black women. Melody revealed that she had turned down a major brand deal that paid her less than other influencers with smaller followings. Instead of quietly accepting it just to get the check, she walked away. That decision sent a strong message, one about having standards and refusing to let others define your value. It wasn't just about money. It was about respect and long-term vision. Her third nugget, move in silence, was where things got even more strategic. Melody admitted that earlier in her career, she used to announce big plans before they were finalized. And time after time, those plans would fall apart, sometimes because of jealousy, sometimes because people tried to sabotage her. Now, she keeps things quiet until they're done. She's building her brand behind the scenes and only revealing things when she's ready. This isn't just smart, it's necessary for someone in her position. The final piece, faith over fear, tied everything together. Melody opened up about the uncertainty she's faced and how her faith has helped her make difficult decisions, from leaving toxic relationships to starting new businesses. Her followers responded deeply to this. The comments were filled with people sharing their own stories, thanking her for being real, and saying how much they needed to hear that message. In this influencer world where everything often feels fake or overly polished, Melody's honesty stood out. Now, while these nuggets had a positive tone, many people also saw them as direct responses to things happening in her personal life, especially with Martell. It's no secret that her divorce from Martell was public, painful, and full of drama. Fans who followed Love and Marriage, Huntsville, know all about the ups and downs. So when she said protect your peace, people immediately thought of that relationship. And when she talked about moving in silence and knowing her worth, some thought she might be throwing subtle shade at former friends or business partners who didn't treat her right. But here's the interesting part, Melody never named anyone. She didn't drag people publicly or post receipts. She stayed vague just enough to make people wonder, but not so direct that it turned into messy gossip. That's powerful. It's what we call controlling the narrative. She let people feel what they needed to feel while staying in control of her story. Whether this was intentional or just a natural way of expressing herself, it worked. People are watching her every move, analyzing every word, and speculating about what's next. And speaking of what's next, there's a lot happening behind the scenes. Industry insiders say Melody is planning something big, something she's been working on for over a year. Some believe it's a book deal. Others think it's a new business venture, maybe a beauty or wellness brand. There's even talk of her stepping into the world of motivational speaking. Think about it, her four-piece message already sounds like the opening of a keynote speech. She's being invited to speak at women's conferences, business summits, and leadership events. This is a major shift from reality TV drama to respected thought leader, and it's not just talk. Just recently, Melody landed one of her biggest brand partnerships yet with a national beauty company. But true to her style, she didn't just do the typical sponsored post and move on. She took people behind the scenes, showing the real process, the ups and downs of negotiating as a Black woman, and how she protects her brand. She even talked about the tough lessons she's learned in the world of business. That kind of transparency is rare in influencer culture. Most people just show the perfect photo. Melody showed the whole journey. Even more surprising? She's turning down deals. Big ones. We're talking tens of thousands of dollars, gone, just because they don't align with her values. That's not common. Most influencers jump at any opportunity. But Melody's being selective. She's playing the long game. She's not just here for quick money. She's building something lasting. And that's why people respect her even more now than they did before. But with all this growth, there are still challenges. One major question is whether her audience will follow her into this next chapter. A lot of people discovered Melody through reality TV. They're used to the drama, the conflict, the behind-the-scenes mess. Will those same fans be interested in business moves, motivational talks, and brand-building advice? Some will, and some won't. That's just the truth. But Melody seems ready to take that risk. She's betting on herself, and she's not afraid to lose a few followers if it means staying true to who she is. There's also the emotional toll to consider. Being open and vulnerable online all the time is exhausting. Melody shares a lot, and while that brings her closer to fans, it also invites criticism. Some people think she shares too much. Others think she's too calculated. It's a tough balance. But so far, she's handled it with grace. She knows when to be open and when to hold back. And she's learned how to keep some parts of her life private, even while staying public. What's especially powerful about Melody's journey is how it connects to something bigger, the experience of Black women in media and business. She's talked openly about being undervalued in brand deals, about fighting stereotypes, and about pushing through criticism that others might not face. Her success isn't just personal, it's an example. It shows what's possible, but it also highlights how much harder the road can be. That's what makes her voice so important. So where is all this going? No one knows for sure yet. But fans are watching closely. They're checking who she's following on Instagram, looking for clues in her posts, and guessing what her big announcement might be. Whether it's a book, a brand, a speaking tour, or something completely unexpected, one thing is clear: Melody is thinking bigger than she ever has before. She's not just reacting to the spotlight. She's creating her own light, and inviting others to grow with her. Even though the news about Martell's accident was shocking, Melody's response wasn't emotional or messy. It was thoughtful, grounded, and in line with everything she's been saying lately. She didn't jump on social media to throw shade or play into the drama. She stayed calm, focused, and rooted in her message. And that's what makes this moment feel different. It's not just a reaction, it's a reflection of her growth. Melody is showing us what it looks like to turn pain into purpose. To walk away from situations that no longer serve you. To stay true to your values even when it's hard. And to build a life that reflects who you really are, not just what people expect from you. Whether you love her or you're still trying to figure her out, you can't deny her impact. This is more than a rebrand. It's a reinvention. Melody isn't just surviving the spotlight, she's shaping it. And whatever she reveals next, you can be sure it's going to be big, it's going to be thoughtful, and it's going to reflect everything she's learned along the way. Because at the end of the day, Melody Shari is no longer just a reality star or an influencer. She's becoming something more: a storyteller, a businesswoman, and maybe even a voice for a new generation of women trying to do it all without losing themselves. Her journey isn't perfect, and it's definitely not easy. But it's real. And in today's world, that kind of honesty is powerful.